Showtime, the Apollo. Catch up the phone, now I pull up in the Tahoe. Thought it's boring, I ain't calling unless she swallow. She don't listen, I ain't tripping, she don't follow. Got another where he swerving on the potholes. Got another thought, he thinks she hit the lotto. She pop a perky, then she chase it with Moscato. This bitch is bad, she fucking all the drug dealers. I took his bitch and then I took his plug, nigga. Have her back, I'm getting to the bag, nigga. Bust in your house, I'm running through your stash, nigga. On the grand flashing all that cash, nigga. Part in my back, I'm counting all these stacks, nigga. Gucci duffel Louis on my ass, nigga. Hennessy and TNT, we blast, nigga. Ferragamo on my dress, I'm looking right, baby. She wanna link, I'm only out here for the night, baby. In Puerto Rico, Casamigos with the Sprite, baby. She wanna fuck with the scammers, talk to me nice, baby. She hit the bottle in the old just wobble wobble. Just thought he fucking for a fight, the cobble wobble. African swing, he spin, hit the throttle. She wanna fuck with the gangsters, talk to me nice, baby. This whole sick, she fucking on the damn crew. Coming out of sock, she lost her damn shoe. Her friend and poppin', she ain't got no damn clue. Rollin' O's and weed and smoking bamboo. Smoking gelato when the Tahoe smell the fucking jar. She wanna ride with me cause we look like some movie stars. This thotty moving faster than a speeding car. Coming through the door with no panties on. Poppin' mollies and you know she took a Zanny bar. Talking about a Mazda is a family car. I hit her with a curve, then the coup de grace. Zillow games, I'm shaking up the dice, baby. She wanna stay with me so we can make the night, baby. She wanna be with me so I can lay the pipe, baby. I'm only out here for the night, baby. I'm only out here for the night, baby. Ferragamo on my dress, I'm looking right, baby. She wanna link, I'm only out here for the night, baby. In Puerto Rico, Casamigos with the Sprite, baby. She wanna fuck with the scammers, talk to me nice, baby. She hit the bottle in the old just wobble wobble. Just thought he's fucking for a fight, the cobble wobble. African swing, he spin, hit the throttle. She wanna fuck with the gangsters, talk to me nice, baby. In a roll, foreign shotties with my name on their toes. These studies have knocked me out. She put the seat back and I had to see Prodigy, little mama wanna suck and just swallow me. Watch time. Welcome to the check-in report. We got a fun show today. I wanted to do a tier list today. I haven't done a tier list in a while. You know, I want to get back to, some hip hop discussions. And, today's discussion is about, it's about the hip hop Grammys. Best hip hop Grammys, the recipients of the best Grammy, the Grammy Award for the best hip hop album. Best rap album, excuse me, not hip hop album, but best rap album. And I wanted to tier these things because I believe a lot of these albums did not deserve to win the Grammy. A lot of these albums, they robbed someone else. We're gonna get into it. Kendrick Lamar was not the only one that was robbed. We're gonna get into that. But we're gonna get into a tier list of the best rap albums. We're gonna go from 96 to 2025. I just want to do something fun today. It's a lot going on. You got the Iran stuff, you got the 50 Cent stuff, you got all these different things happening, but I've already talked about them. I just wanted to do a fun show and have some hip hop discussions, some nerdy hip hop discussions today. So we're going to be going through all of the hip hop albums that has won the best hip hop award for rap. Now, let's just get into it real quick. The Grammys has always had a checkered past with hip hop. Let's just go into the checkered past. They went from relatively not even showcasing the award at one point in time. Oh, you can go back into a certain particular time where the Grammys had no respect for the hip hop culture. They had no respect for the hip hop genre. Up until the point where artists had to protest. Let's get into that. Artists protesting the Grammys. Let's get into the historicity of the Grammys. Hip hop
artists protest the Grammys. Yeah, you know, back in the day, they protested the Grammys back in 1989. It was led by Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince. He was one of the first Grammy winners. Um, Against non-televised rap awards. Now, even to this day, they don't even televise certain rap categories. Or do they not? To this day, they still don't televise certain rap categories. Now, let me get into the protest, the Grammy protest. It's been protested a couple times. Grammys protests, hip hop. It's happened numerous of times. Let me go into, hold on, because this was back in 1989. This was a hot minute ago. Because I remember that clip with DJ Jazzy Jeff. Let me see. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Protest the Grammys. I remember it was Public Enemy. Fresh Prince. Let me see if we can find that. Okay. I remember they had video of it, but I don't know. I guess it's been scrubbed from the internet. But you know, the Grammys have been. It's had a checkered past with hip hop. You know, they haven't always, you know, shown love. The right hip hop artists have never really. I mean, we can go from the Nas's, who finally won one. We can go from the Snoop Dogg's. We can go from the Nicki Minaj's. So many great hip hop artists, the Biggie Smalls, have not been celebrated by the Grammys. They have shunned a lot of people. They've disrespected a lot of people. They've given awards to people who were less deserving. And we're going to showcase that, and we're going to talk about some of these albums that they decided to give. Now, the best rap album, excuse me, it's been in existence since 1996. That was the first time that they gave out that award to a hip hop act. Naughty by Nature was the first group rather, to win a hip hop award for Poverty Paradise. Has anybody heard of this album? Poverty Paradise. Right? I'm not a big Naughty by Nature fan. I do know Treach is an incredible MC. Treach is an incredible rapper. But Poverty Paradise was the first hip hop act to win a Grammy. Now, I'm just calling a spade a spade. When we think of hip hop epics, when we think of hip hop classics, we don't think of Naughty by Nature, Poverty Paradise. Now let's look at the nominees that this album went against, right? We got Tupac, Me Against the World. Most of us would say that is a classic album. That's one of Tupac's greatest albums out of his discography. Me Against the World. Bone Thugs and Harmony, 1999, Eternal. Another classic album that a lot of people have heralded as a classic. Then you have Old Dirty Bastard, Return of the 36 Chambers. Good album. A lot of people wouldn't say it's a classic. It's a Wu-Tang classic, but it's not, heralded as a hip-hop epic classic universally. And then you have Skee-Lo, I Wish. I wish I was a baller. I wish I was taller. I wish I had a girlfriend. I would call her. That's what they had in that category. Now, in my opinion, when we look back at that time period, 1996, everything that was happening, I don't think Poverty Paradise should have won. This should have been Tupac's. Like, think about it. Tupac died without any recognition for his great art that he's left behind. All of the great. Now, keep in mind, look at this album. This album had Dear Mama, So Many Tears, Temptations. These are some of Tupac's greatest songs. Let's just look at this track list real quick. This is probably Tupac's best album. Tupac's best album. right? Let's just go down to the list. Intro, If I Die Tonight, Me Against the World, Shed So Many Tears, Temptations, Young Niggas, Heavy in the Game, Lord Knows, Dear Mama, It Ain't Easy, Can You Get Away, Old School, Death Around the Corner, Outlaw. And clearly this was not about sales. This was not about this album sold pretty good. A lot of people don't know about this album. This album sold really, really good. And then when you think about songs that that stood the test of time, the right thing for the Grammys to do at this particular point in 1996 when they gave out this award was to give it to Tupac Shakur when he was living.
Fire! 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 Fire!
This award should have went to Tupac Shakur in 96. No disrespect to Naughty by Nature, but if we're looking at hip hop going back, if we're looking at albums, songs, relatively that stood the test of time, Poverty Paradise should have not have won. It should have been Tupac Shakur. So going back to the tier list, let's go back to the tier list because this album is right here. I'm not ranking this album in terms of, the songs on it. I am looking at that though, but the fact that it lost to Tupac Shakur, and he died not winning a Grammy, I have to put it at the bottom of the tier list. I am sorry. I'm sorry. I have to put Naughty by Nature at the bottom of the tier list. You robbed Tupac Shakur.
Fire! 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 Fire!
Salute to BX Mel. Salute to BX Mel. I see BX Mel's in the building. Tupac died without getting any recognition for his art by the Grammy Academy. And that's sad to think about. All of the great works that he's left behind in hip hop, all of the great works that he's revered as the greatest hip hop artist of all time, but never honored by the Academy. That's sad to think about, right? So I gotta put Naughty by Nature at the bottom of the tier because I feel like they robbed Tupac. Now let's go to 1997, right? 1997 Fugees, The Score. Now I believe that this album is a bit overrated. It's a tad bit overrated. Not a bad album, but a tad bit overrated. It's not an album that I go back to. It's not when I think about classic 90s hip hop albums, I think about Biggie, Life After Death, Ready to Die, Tupac, All Eyes on Me, Machiavelli, Nas, Illmatic, Reasonable Doubt, Purple Tape, Only Built for Cuban Links, Iron Man, Doggy Style, The Chronic. So many incredible hip hop albums that was coming out around that time. For me, I know for certain people that may not resonate with them, but for me, The Score is not one of the albums that I return to. I acknowledge that it was a big album. I acknowledge that it was critically acclaimed, and you had Lauren, and she had this incredible voice, and she could sing, and she was rapping her ass off on all of these tracks, killing it, Killing Me Softly, so much great music. But for me, it's not what resonates for me. But I am willing to say, you know what? Based off of sales, based off of the critical acclaim, based off of the recognition, I'm willing to say, you know what? 1997, they got it right. Do I feel that Tupac, because we're looking at the nominees, Tupac, All Eyes on Me, A Tribe Called Quest, Beats, Rhymes, and Life, Coolio, Gangsta's Paradise, LL, Mr. Smith. I do feel like Tupac and LL, in my opinion, because LL had some hits on that Mr. Smith album. Do I feel like Tupac and LL got robbed? I do a tad bit feel like Tupac and LL got robbed. in 1997.
Hold
Right?
up.
But based off of the acclaim, based off of what it did sales wise, what it did critically acclaimed, I do feel like it's deserving to be higher. I'm gonna put it mid tier for me. It's not an album that I like. It's not an album that I go back to. Like I said, so I'm gonna put it mid tier. For me, it's a mid tier album. It's not one of my favorite '90s albums. I do recognize it as a classic. People do herald it as a classic, but it's not one of my favorite albums. I wouldn't put it high for me, right? So based off of the fact that it robbed Tupac and LL, and based off of the fact that it's not really, it doesn't really resonate with me in 2025 for me, 2025, 2026 for me, right? Now let's go to the next year. That was 1997. Let's go to 1998. Puff Daddy and the Family. Puff Daddy and the Family. Puff Daddy and the Family. Salute to everybody that's in the chat. BX Mel says Naughty didn't deserve no damn Grammy. That's a fact. I don't think they deserved it. That's why I put them at the bottom of the tier. I don't believe Naughty by Nature deserved the Grammy. They robbed Tupac. That should have been Tupac's Grammy. BX Mel, remember, Tupac died without getting any type of recognition from the Academy. No best hip hop songs, no best hip hop album, nothing. The man died. You got to think about all of the great works of art that he left behind. The man is heralded as the greatest hip hop artist that ever lived. And he's never been recognized by the Academy. That's sad. BX Mel says Pac got robbed again. He did. He got robbed twice. And that's because of the Academy. In my opinion, I think the Academy was very, they didn't have a council like they have now. Now they have a council. Now they have people within hip hop that can kind of, give the right awards and give the people the right acclaim that they need at the right time. They didn't have that back in the 90s. I mean, you got to remember then, back then, the Grammys had no respect for hip hop. The Grammys wasn't even televising the award ceremony for a very long time throughout the 80s. So when we get to the 90s, they still have no respect, right? So yeah, Tupac got robbed twice, in my opinion. Let's get to 1998. Puff Daddy and the Family, No Way Out. Now, this was a huge album. I'm not gonna lie, this was a huge album for Diddy. You got to remember in 1998, 1999, late 90s, after Biggie has lost his life, Diddy and the Bad Boy sound is everywhere. Biggie is everywhere. Mace is everywhere. Everybody is rocking shiny suits. Everybody got an R&B remix. And that's all by way of Diddy. Diddy was the movement back then. As much as we give him flack now, as much as we kicking his back now, back in 1998, 1999, back in the late 90s, he was the cat's meow.
Fire! Fire! Fire!
Keeping it real. This album had some big hits. Can't Nobody Hold Me Down. I'll Be Missing You. That was the homage to Big. All About the Benjamins, huge song. Been Around the World, huge song. Victory, great song. But do we look back at this album as a hip hop classic? Are we looking back at this album and saying this is a hip hop classic? No Way Out from Diddy is a hip hop classic. I think it has classic songs. No question. It has classic hip hop songs, but are we looking at it as a hip hop classic? I don't know. Now, when you look at the nominees that this album went against, we got Missy Elliott, Super Duper Fly, Wyclef, his album, The Carnival, Notorious B.I.G., Life After Death.
Fire! 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 Fire!
And Wu-Tang Forever, two classic albums. In my humble opinion, this album, this Grammy should have went to Biggie Smalls. Life After Death is listen, Life After Death is the greatest double hip hop album of all time. That's a fact.
Fire! 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 Fire!
It should have went to Big. That's a fact. BX Mel says Life After Death was better. That's a fact. No Way Out was not better than Life After Death. Life After Death is the greatest double album, the greatest hip hop double album of all time. It's better than, in my opinion, it's better than Tupac's double album. It's better than Jay-Z's double album. It's better than Nas' double album. It's better than Kendrick's double album. It's better than Drake's double album. It's better than J. Cole's double album. It's the greatest hip-hop double album of all time. And why not pay homage to Biggie Smalls? Biggie Smalls has lost his life. He left the game on top of the game. Why was the Grammy so out of touch to not honor Biggie Smalls with a Grammy that they decided to give it to the Diddler? So based off of that, in my opinion, I feel like they robbed Biggie. I do acknowledge that No Way Out has some classic hip hop songs. But I do acknowledge that. But I gotta be honest, man. You rob Big, you rob Wu-Tang as well. You rob Big and you rob Wu-Tang. So the fact that you rob Big and you rob Wu-Tang, I'm sorry, I gotta put you at the bottom. You rob Big and you rob Wu-Tang. In my opinion, I think I gotta put you at the bottom of the list. Big and Wu-Tang never received Grammys because of Diddy, the Diddler. Think about that. Wu-Tang, the greatest hip-hop collective of all time, and Biggie, one of the greatest rappers of all time, never received a Grammy because of the Diddler. The Diddler is not a rapper. He's never wrote a lyric. He's not known as one of the greatest lyricists of all times, greatest rappers of all times. He's just one of the greatest, hip-hop moguls of all time. They decided to look over Biggie and Wu-Tang to give the Diddler an award. I think that wasn't right, so I'm gonna put him at the bottom of the list. So let's go into the next thing, and let me know how you guys feel in terms of what I'm saying in terms of Eminem. Does Eminem deserve 6? We're gonna get into Eminem's albums. BX Mel says, same way after Big died, he took his Vibe cover. Yeah, that's another thing that people don't talk about. Diddy absolutely did take Biggie's Vibe cover. I did read about that, how Big was supposed to be on the cover of Vibe, and Diddy took that from him. So I don't know if it was backstage dealings. Remember at that time, 98, 97, 99, Diddy is at the height of his powers really at that time. I know y'all see him now and he's caked up now. Well, not now, he's in jail now. But before he went to jail, I know y'all think he was up, but back in the late 90s, he was really a powerful dude. He was running radio at that point in time. He was running the music game at that point in time. He had #1 hits, #1 rap acts. He was really the dude back then. But did he deserve the best rap album? No. Biggie deserved that album. Biggie deserved that Grammy. Now let's go into the next. Let's go into the next album. That was 1999. Let's get into 1999, Volume 2. Jay-Z wins in 1999 for Volume 2. If you don't know about this, he historically boycotted the Grammys because they decided not to televise. Remember, the Grammys wasn't televising these awards this whole time. A lot of people need to realize that the Grammys were not televising the rap awards for a very long time. Jay-Z decided to boycott because they was not televising the awards, and DMX was not he did not get his recognition by way of the Grammys. DMX put out 2, not 1 but 2 big albums, right? It's Dark and Hell is Hot, and then there was X, right? Oh, excuse me. It's dark and hell is hot and flesh of my flesh and blood of my blood. Yeah. He put out those two albums and neither one got nominated. So volume two, but I'm not gonna lie, I love volume two. It's one of my favorite Jay-Z albums. When I look at the competition, right? You got Tribe Called Quest the Love Movement, right? And I think that's a decent album. You got Big Punisher, Capital Punishment. I like that album. A lot of people think that album it's not that great, but I actually like that Big Pun album, Capital Punishment. I like that album. I think it's a classic. You got Jermaine Dupri, Life in 1472, and you got Mace, Harlem World. Mace sold 5 million copies on his first album. Jay did about 5 million as well because he had It's a Hard Knock Life for Us. It's a Hard Knock Life for Us. He only sold 5 million because of that song, you know? I'm just keeping it real. He only sold 5 million because of that song because that song was so huge. And of course, he had the song from the Rush Hour soundtrack, Can I Get a F You? He had that song on there, right? So he had club records. He had the Big Annie record. And he wound up selling 5 million, right? And again, I love this album. In my opinion, let me go back to the nominations here. Go back to the nominations. You know, looking at the nominations, you got the Tribe here. I don't think Tribe should have won. Big Punisher, Capital Punishment. I love that album, but I don't think it should have won. I don't think it was, you know, that big of an album where it deserved to win. I think it was a great album, but I don't think it deserved to win. Jermaine Dupri, Life 42, we're not going to consider that. And Harlem World was a big album, but it was trash. It was a bad album. It's not a good album. Harlem World not a good album. So I think that the Grammys made the right decision this year. I think in 1999, the Grammys made the right decision to give Jay-Z the award. I think Jay-Z deserved it. And Jay-Z won the award. So I'm going to rank this one, and I like this album. I'm not going to put it in the S tier. I'm going to put it in the A tier. I'm putting Jay-Z's Volume 2 in the A tier for me. A tier. I'm ranking the albums in the Grammy win, where I rank the Grammy win. Do I respect it? Do I not respect it? I relatively respect this Grammy win because I do believe that the greater album won. I don't necessarily think anyone got robbed. I think that this was a respectable win, in my opinion. This was a respectable win for Jay-Z. I don't think it's an S tier. You know, I think we're gonna reserve that for other albums, but I do think it's an A tier. The right person won that year. Has anybody have any problems with my selection so far? Is anybody agreeing or disagreeing with that so far? BX Mel says Jay was deserving. I agree. I think Jay was deserving as well. I think Jay was deserving as well. I think that Jay put out, I mean, that album was a great album. It's one of my favorite Jay-Z albums. I rank it up there with the Black Album. I rank it up there with 444. I rank it up there with Blueprint. It's one of my favorite Jay-Z albums. So for me, Volume 2 was deserving to win. Let's go into 2000, the year 2000. An interesting year in hip-hop. You have the emergence of Eminem being a superstar. The first album, he wasn't a superstar. He was just, you know, coming onto the scene. Well, the first album he did come in as a superstar, but you know, I think the second album he really became a superstar. Now let's go into 2000. Eminem wins with the Slim Shady LP. The Slim Shady LP. Now, listen, you know, me personally, I'm kind of on the fence about this album. You know, I do believe that this is a classic album. I do think Eminem's debut album is a classic. But did he deserve to win the Grammy on his first outing? You know, I don't think this is Eminem's best work. Let's get into some of the songs. My Name Is, Role Model, I love Role Model. That's one of my favorite Eminem songs. Guilty Conscious. Guilty Conscious is a great song. I don't believe that Eminem deserved to win the Grammy on his first go round. I do think that this is a decent body of work. I do think it's a classic. Some people don't think it's a classic, but I do think this is a classic album. I think Eminem's second album is his classic. It's his real, it's his authentic, undisputable classic, right? And when I look back at the albums that he was going against, in my opinion, you got Busta Rhymes, ELE. You got Missy Elliott, The Real World. You got Nas, I Am, and you got The Roots, Things Fall Apart. Now, my eyes go to Nas, I Am. A lot of people kick in the back of this album, but I think this album is a gem, in my opinion. I think that this is a great album. You know, if you take away Dr. Knock Boot, I know Dr. Knock Boot is on this album. It's one of the songs people dislike, right? Yeah, Dr. Knock Boot. That's a bad song. I'm not gonna lie. But when you factor in Project Windows, when you factor in Drunk by My, actually that's the version that got bootleg. Let me go to the original track listing. When you go to NY State of Mind, when you go to Favor for a Favor, when you go to I Want to Talk to You, when you go to Nas is Like, Kissing, Money Is My B, Undying Love, this is a classic album. This is a classic Nas album. A lot of people kicked in the back of this album because it wasn't Illmatic. You know, a lot of Nas fans are just so obsessed with Illmatic. They want Nas to make 600 variations of Illmatic. But I was one of the Nas fans that appreciated his growth, that appreciated where he was taking himself with his pen, with his music, the stories he was telling. And I do think that this album deserved some recognition. And let's be honest, the Grammys robbed Nas twice. You didn't nominate Illmatic, you didn't nominate It Was Written, and then here comes Nas with this third album, and you give it to the white boy.
Fire! 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 Fire!
Nas done dropped three classics so far, and the Grammys ain't acknowledging none of it. And then we would go on to see that the Grammys, BX Mel says, sounds about white. And then we would go on to see that the Grammys would go on to ignore and disrespect Nas for the next 15 years. So I do feel like Nas was robbed. I do feel like Eminem did not deserve a Grammy on his first album. He will tell you, even he will tell you that his first album, he doesn't think his first album was whack, but he feels like his first album didn't really get the recognition that it deserved. He felt like it wasn't as big. It wasn't as big as a splash when he came out. I think Nas deserved this out. He deserved this Grammy, in my opinion. So I think Nas was robbed in 2000. Now let's go to 2001. You got Eminem, the Marshall Mathers LP. I'm gonna say, listen, this is Eminem's classic, right? Oh, I have to rank. Excuse me, I'm bugging out. I have to rank the Slim Shady. Let me go back to that. I have to actually rank that. I'm bugging. This is a tier list. We have to rank. I'm going to give Eminem's first album. I do think you robbed Nas. I'm gonna put him here. I'm not gonna put him in the bottom, but close to the bottom. I do feel like he robbed Nas. I think that should have been Nas's first. That should have been Nas's first Grammy. So I do feel like Eminem robbed Nas. So I'm gonna put that here, right? So let's go to the next album, the Marshall Mathers LP. Listen, classic album, indisputable. I think this is Eminem's magnum opus. I think this is his best album. I don't think he has done anything to this. At the sound of this recording, I don't think he's done anything that pales in comparison. I think this is an incredible album, incredible body of work. BX Mel says it was written not being nominated behooves me. I agree. I agree. Illmatic and it was written not being nominated behooves me. But you know, in '96, that's when they started the Best Hip Hop Album award. Yeah, but it was written should have definitely been nominated. I guess because it came out so late. Maybe that might be what it is. I think it came out late in the year. Maybe that's probably what it was. But in terms of the Marshall Mathers LP, indisputable classic. I'm not gonna give any push on this. I think that it is deserving of winning. I think this is the Marshall Mathers LP is deserving of this award. I'm not gonna give any pushback. I just want to take a look at the nominees. You had DMX, and then there was X. I think that was a decent album. You had Dr. Dre, 2001, incredible album, right? Incredible. I do think that Dr. Dre 2001 had better production. If we're just judging it off of lyrics and production, Dr. Dre 2001 should have probably won. Then you have Jay-Z Volume 3, Life and Times of Jay-Z. You know, I don't think Jay-Z deserved it for that album. Good album, but I don't think he deserved it for that. And then you got Nelly, Country Grammar. So I think it was really between, in my opinion, it was really between Marshall Mathers and Dr. Dre 2001. And I'm not mad at Eminem winning, but I do think he kind of robbed Dre. He kind of robbed Dre because I think Dr. Dre was deserving of winning a Grammy. He's been in the game since 1980, 87, 88. I mean, been making records with NWA and, you know, world-class wrecking crew. So you did kind of rob Dre. But I'm gonna put it S tier. I'm gonna show respect because I do think it's his magnum opus. I think it's a great album. I think it's his best body of work. So I will give him the respect, and I will put Marshall Mathers LP S tier. Yeah, I will put that album S tier. Marshall Mathers LP S tier. Yes, I think that's deserving. Marshall Mathers LP S tier. Let's go to the next one. Outkast, Stanktonia, 2002. Oh, did I skip something? Oh no, okay, yeah, I'm right. Okay, yeah, Outkast, Stanktonia, 2002. I love this album. I'm a huge Outkast fan. You know, I'm not gonna lie. Let me look at the nominations. You had Eve Scorpion. You had Ja Rule, Pain is Love. Jay-Z, The Blueprint, classic album. And then you had Ludacris back for the first time. I love that album as well. Stanktonia winning. And, you know, Stanktonia and The Blueprint going back to back. That's an interesting thing right there. I'm kind of torn. I do believe, in my opinion, The Blueprint may have been a better album. You know, when people think of Outkast's most classic albums, they look at ATLiens, Aquemini. Those are like the classic. You know, people talk about Stanktonia, but not in the same realm as Aquemini and ATLiens. So I'm a little bit torn. I do feel like they possibly may have robbed Jay-Z that year. They may have robbed Jay-Z. How do you guys feel? Do you feel like Outkast robbed Jay-Z in 2002? Did they rob him? Stanktonia was a good album. Listen. Sorry, Miss Jackson. B.O.B., So Fresh, So Clean. All classic hip-hop songs. But I mean, The Blueprint was a classic hip-hop album. I mean, I don't think people are looking at Stanktonia in the same realm as Blueprint. Or am I bugging? You know, I'm not from ATL. I'm not from ATL. But I was a huge Outkast fan at this time. Huge Outkast fan. Let me see what BX Mel has to say. He says, that was definitely a preference pick with Outkast. Yeah, I do think it was a preference pick. He says, Well, M's win is Dre's win anyway. I disagree. I disagree with that. But in terms of Outkast, I do feel like they kind of robbed Jay. They kind of robbed Jay. I mean, here you have Jay-Z making his magnum opus. And I think people relatively look back, people from New York at least, maybe not people from ATL, but people from New York at least, would rank Blueprint higher than Stinktonia. So I do feel like they robbed Jay a little bit. But I'm gonna put this album. Let me see. I'm gonna put it next to Volume 2. Because Blueprint is a classic hip hop. We revere Blueprint as Jay-Z's best album, next to Reasonable Doubt. We look at those two albums as his best albums, right? And they kind of robbed Jay, right? They kind of robbed Jay of his moment. I mean, Volume 2 was a great album, but it wasn't as good as Blueprint. So I'm gonna say it's A tier. It's not S tier. Not S tier. I'm not gonna put it in S tier. So I do feel like they robbed Jay. Let's go into 2003. You have Eminem with the Eminem Show. Now this is when it gets crazy for me, right? Now let me open up another beer. Hold on. Because in my opinion, this is when the D-riding began for me, right? When Eminem was winning for his first album, I was willing to say, you know what? Whatever, right? When he won for the second album, I was willing to say, you know what? It is Eminem's best album. He put out an incredible body of work. I don't mind. I don't mind him winning that. But when we get to Eminem Show, this is when the Grammys start deriding Eminem. Remember, this is his third best hip hop album at this time. This is his third best hip hop album in a black art form.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
Now, I will give him a little bit of leeway because look at the nominations. Now, like I said, I feel, look at the nominations. Let's look at the nominations. You had him going up against Ludacris, Word of Mouth. I like that album, but it's not, a classic. You got Mystical Tarantula. Watch yourself. Watch yourself. You got Nelly with Nellyville. You got Petey Pablo. And that's about it. So I understand Eminem was the bigger album. It probably had the most eyes on it. You could say it was a weak year in terms of nominations. Eminem was the clear-cut choice in terms of star power. But I feel like this was the beginning. Because after this album, it just became outlandish. It's like they just kept giving him the award. 3 hip-hop. Think about it. Nas, 0. Snoop Dogg, 0. All these incredible hip-hop acts with 0 Grammys. And Eminem is on his third. He's probably been in he's been in the game for about 3-4 years at this time, professionally, and he got 3 damn Grammys. Nas ain't got 1. Snoop Dogg ain't got 1. Snoop Dogg been in it since 93, 0. Nas been in it since 91, 92, 0. Some people could feel away. So I will say that the Eminem Show, based off of the nominations, based off the people he was going up against, you could say it's understandable why he got it, because maybe the selections of nominations were really bad. So sadly, I have to put this in A tier. Only because of the nominations. The nominations were not there that year. BX Mel says Petey Pablo was his nomination. Petey Pablo was your nomination? You would have nominated Petey Pablo? North Carolina, hands up. You would have rated him? You would have gave him the album of the year? Listen, I'm not necessarily mad at Eminem winning because I'm looking at the nominations. You went up against Luda, Mystical, Nelly, and Petey Pablo. So relatively, his peers didn't really come with the heat that year, right? But that would change. That would come on to change, right? Let's go to 2004, excuse me. Speaker Box The Love Below. I love this album. Incredible album. The album went diamond. The Love Below was really the gem of this album. Speaker Box has some good songs. Got some good tunes if you're a Outkast fan. It has some great tunes, some great songs to listen to. But The Love Below is the sweet spot of the album. It's the genius part of the album, in my opinion. Great songs, Prototype, the life and times of Benjamin Andre. So many great songs, great classics, Pink and Blue. I love this album. I think it's a classic. But I gotta be honest. Get Rich or Die Trying. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Get Rich or Die Trying gets snubbed by The Love Below, which is not really a hip-hop album.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
The Love Below is not really a hip-hop album. Speaker Box is a hip-hop album, but The Love Below is not really a hip-hop album. And it gets snubbed by Benjamin Andre talking about, you are my prototype. I hope that you're the one. It gets snubbed by a album that's not even really a hip hop album. Yeah, so listen, Outkast, they kind of robbed 50 Cent. Who else was in here? You got the Blueprint 2. Blueprint 2 didn't deserve it. You got Missy Under Construction, and you got The Roots. So yeah, it was really between Get Rich or Die Trying and Love Below, Speaker Box. I think they snubbed the Get Rich or Die Trying. There was nothing bigger than that album. That album was like, Get Rich or Die Trying, it was like a hip-hop thriller. It was the hip-hop version of Thriller. That album was everywhere. Everybody had this album. Everybody was playing this album. This was the only thing bumping in the streets. Yes, did The Love Below run the radio? You had big songs. I Like the Way You Move, Hey Ya. But in terms of the streets, in terms of the clubs, they wasn't bumping Hey Ya. Maybe in Atlanta, they was bumping I Like the Way You Move when niggas was dancing in Atlanta, shaking that pussy. But I gotta tell you, from New York to California, 50 Cent Get Rich or Die Trying controlled the streets. Fire! 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 That's an undisputable fact that this album controlled the streets back then. This album controlled the radio. It controlled the streets. So I do feel like Outkast they robbed 50. They robbed 50. So I gotta say, I'm gonna put this album, and I love this album. This is based off of how I feel about the album, and also based on the Grammy win. Do I respect the Grammy win or not? So it's based off of two things: the quality of the music and the Grammy win. Did they rob someone egregiously? They kind of robbed 50 Cent egregiously, right? So I'm gonna put this mid-tier. Right? I'm gonna put it right next to the score as mid-tier, right? So yeah, I do think 50 Cent was robbed. So I'm putting that with mid-tier for me. Let's go to 2005, The College Dropouts. Kanye West's breakout year, heralded as a classic. What more can you say about this album? Let me click this out for 1 second. Give me 1 second. We gotta talk about this album. Let me just talk about this album for just a little bit. This album, right? The College Dropout. Let me just give this album its flowers because I don't think this album gets its flowers. I don't think enough people talk about this album. It's a classic album. Enough people say that it's a classic album, but let me just give this album its flowers while I'm here. This album, The College Dropout, it kicked down the door for generations of MCs after. I don't think you get a Drake without this album. I don't think you get a Kendrick Lamar without this album. I don't think you get a J. Cole without this album. This album kicks down the door for the generation of MCs coming after it. This album was a changing of the guard. This album was an absolute culture change. We are no longer going in the gangster direction. Like I told you, what did I say was running hip hop at that point in time? The Love Below won, but in terms of what was running hip hop, the gangster image, the gangster sound, 50 Cent, that was running hip hop at the time. When this album came out, it was a changing of the guard. You don't get a Drake without this album. You don't get a Kendrick Lamar because they benefited off of Kanye West kicking down the door sonically. So all of those MCs that came after this album benefited from what this man did. This man was a pioneer, and he doesn't get enough. Well, he gets his flowers, but enough people don't talk about it. You don't get a Kendrick Lamar, Drake, J. Cole without this man putting out this incredible body of work, right? I just want to say that for a second. Now let me look at the albums that he went up against. A lot of people are going to look at the Black Album. I think the College Dropout is a better album than the Black Album, in my opinion. It's more historic. Yeah, Jay-Z, he was going through his fake retirement, yada, yada, yada. The Black Album, listen, it's a good album. Great album. Classic album. Some people say it's a classic. But in terms of what it meant for hip-hop, in my opinion, the College Dropout meant more to hip-hop at that particular time. And even now, when you think of the mark that the College Dropout left, and you look at the historicity and how this album impacted the landscape of hip-hop, it's undeniable. This album is an S tier. I'm sorry. It's too impactful. It's too impactful. So I'm putting this album in the S tier. It has to go in the S tier. That has to go. BX Mel says, hold on. BX Mel says, I've never heard anyone play Outkast in the Hood. Well, listen, BX Mel, you're from New York. You know, you're from New York. You know, maybe that's probably why. Outkast is an incredible hip hop group. Let's not diminish them. They're an incredible hip hop group. They've done a lot. They sold a lot of records. I think that they're probably top 2, top 3 greatest hip hop albums of all time. Hip hop collective group of all time. Salute. You know, I think that, you know, let's give Outkast their flowers. They're deserving to get that Grammy. You know, BX Mel says Through the Wire alone was too impactful. I agree. Jesus Walks was too impactful. So yeah, I have to put that album in the S tier. I have to. It's undeniable because it means too much to hip hop. If that album doesn't come out, then the trajectory of hip hop and what we see today does not happen. I don't think you get a big 3. I don't think you get a J. Cole. I don't think you get a Drake, a Kendrick. I don't think you get any of that without the work that Kanye does. Okay, so you go into the 2006 and then you get Kanye winning back to back. Salute to Kanye winning back to back for Late Registration. Right? I think that this is a deserving album as well. I mean, when you look at the competition, you look at 50 Cent The Massacre. Most people would say that that's probably when 50 Cent started falling off. The second album wasn't as revered as the first. You got Common B, classic album. But I think that Kanye had such a critically acclaimed album, and he had the Midas touch at that point in time. He was hot as fish grease. I would give Late Registration the edge in terms of star power and in terms of quality of music. I mean, Common had to run to Kanye to get, a great album as B. He was kind of cold at that time before he linked up with Ye. You got Missy Elliott Cookbook, and you got Eminem Encore. I think that this is the right choice. I think Kanye winning was the right choice. I don't think anyone got robbed. I think you could make a case for Common with B, because B is a great album, but Common had to run to Kanye to get a good album. He was kind of cold at that time. So it just kind of points to how incredible and how great Kanye was and how he had a hot hand at that point in time in his career. So I have to give Kanye an S tier. Kanye has 2 S tier albums so far. 2 S tier. Kanye has 2 S tier selections in terms of best hip hop albums, Grammys. Let's continue. And I think it's deservingly so. Let's go to 2007. You have Ludacris winning with Release Therapy. But before we get into Release Therapy, let's get into some of the nominations. You got Lupe Fiasco, The Cool, right? No, this was actually Food and Liquor. This was his first album. A lot of people love this album. I'm not, like, I'm kind of on the fence about it. There's some joints on there, but it's not, I think The Cool is really his best album for me. You got Pharrell, In My Mind. There's some nice sounds on there. You got The Roots, The Game Theory. You got T.I. King with a huge album. This was a big album for T.I. This had What You Know About That, right? What You Know About That. Why you wanna do that? Top Back, Live in the Sky. A lot of big hits. I think Ludacris won this Grammy based off of that song. What's that song he had on there? Runaway Love. Ludacris finally decided to make a serious album with some serious topics, and he finally won a Grammy. Yeah, Runaway Love. That was the song with Mary J. Blige. Ludacris finally decided to take, his content a little bit more serious, and he finally won a Grammy. I'm not mad at that. Do I think it's a classic album? Do I think it's a Grammy award-winning album? No. I would probably lean more towards T.I. King and Lupe Fiasco. I think you can make a case that either one of those should have probably won. I mean, T.I. had a huge year. King had a lot of big songs, a lot of great records. You have Lupe Fiasco's first album. I'll probably lean more towards T.I. should have winning that. So I don't think Ludacris should have necessarily won. Probably should have been between T.I. and Lupe Fiasco. So I'm gonna give that one. I do think T.I. may have been possibly robbed because he had such a huge year. I'm gonna put an S tier. I'm sorry, Luda, but I mean, I think that this is not T.I. This is not Ludacris's best work. I think his best work is Word of Mouth, Back for the First Time, Chicken and Beer. Those are my favorite Ludacris albums. I wasn't really feeling that era of Luda. You know, after Chicken and Beer, I kind of checked out. So I'm gonna say, you know, I wasn't really feeling that era of him. Salute to FBA. I see FBA is in the building. He says, "You're
Fire! 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 Fire!
you know." Yeah, I think that personally, I think that, you know, I don't think Luda deserved that Grammy. I think it should have went to T.I. So I'm gonna say he robbed T.I. I'm gonna put Luda in the S tier. I think that's fair. I think you kind of robbed T.I. You kind of robbed Lupe. So let's go on to the next album. 2008, Kanye West wins Best Hip Hop Album with Graduation. And I have no complaint with that. Now let's look at the nominations. You got Common, Finding Forever. Not a bad album, but I think that B was superior to Finding Forever. You got Jay-Z, Kingdom Come, the comeback album. This album sold so many units based off of Jay-Z coming back, and it was an absolute weed plate. Can we be honest about this? You know, you got a lot of whole Avengers today that lick the balls, lick the scrotum of Jay-Z. Jay-Z, can we all say that Jay-Z was trash? And what year this came out? What was this, 06 or 07? What year was this? This was what? What year was this? 06. Jay-Z was trash in 06. Can we all come to a consensus that Jay-Z was trash in 06? You had Lil Wayne washing him on his own record. Remember the Show Me What You Got, Lil Baby? The Show Me What You Got record. Lil Wayne came through and eviscerated Jay-Z. Eviscerated him. Eviscerated him, like he hit him with the AI crossover. Remember when AI crossed over Jordan? Hold on, put that on the screen. This is what Lil Wayne did to Jay-Z in 06. Let's put that on the Summer Jam screen. Hold on. Allen Iverson, Jordan. This is what Lil Wayne did to Jay-Z in 2006.
I started a business.
When he hopped on the Show Me What You Got remix and showed that old Jared Toll nigga how to rap. This is what he did to that nigga. This is exactly what he did to that nigga. Because a lot of y'all niggas look up to Jay. Oh, he the GOAT. He the best of all time. That nigga, Lil Wayne, hit that nigga with the AI crossover. Made a fool out of him. This is what.
It was Mike.
This is what Lil Wayne did to Jay-Z.
I mean, the greatest player to ever play the game.
Cross that old nigga up.
Nice play.
That's what Lil Wayne did to Jay-Z in 2006. When he hopped on the Show Me What You Got remix, he showed that old nigga how to rap. Show me what you got. Because a lot of y'all niggas were still, you know, saying that Jay-Z was the GOAT. Jay-Z was this. Lil Wayne showed that old nigga how to rap. Told that old nigga, listen, man, go back to your retirement home.
Good night, America. It comes down to this recording. I must be LeBron James.
If he's Jordan, listen, bro. He watched Jay-Z. He watched him. If you know, you know. He watched Jay-Z back then. He watched him. So I'm not even putting that in consideration that he should have won. Nas Hip Hop Is Dead. I mean, I don't think that was an incredible album. I think Nas kind of went off of topic. Didn't stay on topic. T.I. versus T.I.P. had some joints on there, but it wasn't the best T.I. album. I'm going to say Graduation deserved this one. I think this, in terms of star power, in terms of quality of music, in terms of impact, what we look back at and say, yo, this was a classic album, I think it's undeniable that Kanye deserves to win this Grammy. So I don't have any complaint with him winning this album. Does anybody have a complaint with him winning this album? BX Mel says Jay-Z is the greatest. Biggie fan forever. I disagree. FBA says, yo, Dunn Mano was the man. Yo, Mano is trash. Mano is absolutely garbage. Mano is the wackest Brooklyn rapper. He might be the wackest Brooklyn rapper of all time. Yeah, Mano might be the wackest Brooklyn rapper of all time. Undeniable. Yeah, but Graduation is deserving to be S tier. I'm putting Graduation S tier. I think it's undeniable. So Kanye has 3 albums in the S tier at this particular point in time. Nobody else has 3 albums S tier. Eminem has 1, and he has 1 in A tier. So I think that's fair in terms of Grammy wins and quality of music and who got robbed and who didn't get robbed. I'm liking my ranking so far. Let's get to the next album. So this was 2008. You got 2009, The Carter 3. Huge album. Huge album. Incredible. Sold 1 million copies first week. The biggest artist at that particular time, the biggest hip hop rapper at that particular time. Listen, before we get into the nominations, is this Lil Wayne's best album? Let me ask the people in the chat. Is this Lil Wayne's best album? Is The Carter 3 Lil Wayne's best album? Yes or no? I would say Carter 2. I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like Lil Wayne's best music is on mixtape. If you take all the unreleased songs from the Carter 3 period, like Let's Talk About It, Prostitute Flange, I feel like, DYIing. Songs like that, something you forgot. If you take all of those songs, that's a classic album, right? That's a classic album in my opinion. Couture says, hold on, let me read what you just said. It says something about Mano. You says, you might be right. Mano don't know what's whacker. I don't know. Wait, you might be right. Marino don't know who's whacker than Mano. Mano, like in my opinion, I think Mano is the wackest Brooklyn rapper of all time. Can you think of a whacker rapper than Mano? I mean, think about that. Just stay in Brooklyn. Think about every rapper that has ever come out of Brooklyn. Think about it. I'm talking about from back in the 1979. Go back to 1979 and go all the way from 2025 and think about every rapper that has ever come out of Brooklyn. Who is whacker than Mano out of Brooklyn? Think about that for a second. I can't think of a rapper whacker than Mano out of Brooklyn. I really can't. I'm stumping my head. I think Casanova is a better rapper than Mano. That's a fact. Chef G, better rapper. I'm trying to think, like, who would I say? I think ODB was better. ODB from Brooklyn. I think ODB's a better rapper than Mano. I'm thinking, like, who was worser than Mano out of Brooklyn? Who was whacker? Especially if you're like a hip hop historian, if you know about Brooklyn hip hop, really rack your brain and think about who, like, every rapper that came out of Brooklyn, every rapper that ever rapped out of Brooklyn, you will come to the realization that Mano is the wackest rapper out of Brooklyn ever, historically. Or you said Tekashi. Listen, I'll put Tekashi over Mano. Fire! 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 Yes. I will put Tekashi over Mano. Yes, absolutely. BXML said Tekashi. I'm putting Tekashi over Mano. I think Tekashi's a better rapper than Mano. Yes. Absolutely. I would put Tekashi over Mano. No question. Tekashi got at least 3 songs that I actually like. Mano's best song is High Hater. That nigga's trash. Couture says the rat definitely rap better than him. That's a fact. BX Mel says, is 50 Tyson from Brooklyn? I'm trying to help Mano out. Nah, I think 50 Tyson from down south. I think he's from down south. But think about that for a second. I know that's not something people think about, but when you think about it, he might be the wackest rapper from Brooklyn ever. I can't think of a rapper whacker than him out of Brooklyn. I really can't. Because Brooklyn, historically, Brooklyn has been known to have some of the greatest rappers of all time. You think about Big Daddy Kane, you think about Jay, Big, AZ, Smooth the Hustler, Trigger the Gambler, MOP, Sean Price. I think of some of the best rappers ever, but you know, Mano ain't one of them. He ain't one of them. Mano is just a whack rapper. He was never supposed to pick up a mic. He was never supposed to pick up a mic, and that's just my opinion. Let's get back into this list though. The Carter 3, you know, I think it's a hip hop classic. I think it's a bit overrated though. I do think it's, you know, it got some whack songs on there. In terms of people getting robbed, gotta be honest, American Gangster is a really good album, bro. American Gangster is a really solid album. I think it's a 4 out of a 5 album. Not necessarily classic, but damn near close. Damn near close. Not necessarily a classic, but damn near close. If it's not classic, it's right beneath it. So I do feel like this album possibly may have gotten snubbed. Now, in terms of commercially, I don't think it got snubbed. I think commercially, Carter 3 was the bigger album. All eyes was on Wayne in 2008, 2009, right? But in terms of quality of music, you know, American Gangster may have been a tad bit better. And then what else you got in here? You got Untitled. Untitled was cool. Paper Trail has some big songs, but we don't look back at that album as a classic. What was on here? No Matter What You Can Have Whatever You Like. That was that tricking song. Swing Your Rag. That was cool. What's Happening? What's Up? Swagger Like Us. Live Your Life. Huge song. It had some big songs, but it wasn't a classic. It's really a 2-horse race between Carter 3 and American Gangster. I'm not mad at Carter 3 winning, but I do feel like Jay possibly may have been a little bit robbed. Jay should have probably gotten that, but I mean, it would have been kind of unfair to not give Lil Wayne the award with the type of year he had, so selling 1 million copies first week. But you did snub 50 Cent. 50 Cent sold crazy amount of records and you snubbed him. So, you know, the Grammys sometimes don't make sense. Sometimes it makes sense. Sometimes it don't make sense. So I don't know. I'm on the fence really. I think I'm going to go Carter 3 because you did snub Jay. You did kind of snub Jay. I think I'm going to go. Let me see. I'm going to go mid-tier. I think that's fair. In terms of that Grammy win that year, I'm going to go mid-tier. I think the Carter 3 was a great album. It did a lot of damage. It was great for Lil Wayne. It was huge. It sold 1 million copies first week. Huge singles. But I do feel like American Gangster was a quality album. I mean, I think if it's not a 5 mic album, it's damn near a 4 mic album. It's a really good album. So I do think you robbed that. I think he did rob that. It's a tad bit. So I think where I got Carter 3, I'm fine with that. I think I'm gonna rank it mid-tier. Let's go to the next year. Now, this is what I'm talking about. 2010, right? Keep in mind, Eminem has 3 hip hop awards so far. He has 3 best hip hop album awards. This is when the Grammys start slobbing the knob. Slob on my knob. Corn on the cob. Check in with me and do your job. They started slobbing the knobbing of Eminem.
You don't find that suspicious?
Just because he was white and rapping in a black art form. I'm sorry to tell you, Relapse don't deserve no damn Grammy. I'm sorry, bro. And listen, I don't necessarily dislike that album. I think I relatively, if I look back at that album, I kind of like that album. But is it a classic? Is it deserving? I don't think so. Now, I think what happened with Eminem is he happened to benefit off of the Grammy nominations not having a lot of star power. Because when you look at the nominations here, you got Common with Universal Mind Control. This is the album he did with Pharrell and the Neptunes. It wasn't really a good album. You know, he kind of got away from Kanye, and you know, things wasn't really sounding like the way they should be. So this wasn't really a herald as a great album. You got Flow Rider with Roots. I mean, you know, I don't think Flow Rider had a chance. You got Mos Def with the a classic. Now, this was a good album. This is probably what should have won, but based off of the star power needed, and the Grammys are not trying to give the award to just anybody. You got to have some type of star power. You know, listen, at the end of the day, the Grammys is a business. You know, they got to put the ads in the show. They got to sell the show. They got to make sure they got the right ratings for next year. Giving an award to Mos Def wouldn't be kosher for them. Wouldn't generate the type of revenue that they would need. It should have won, because this is a good album. It is a good album. Let me just go to some of the things. FBA said did a bid in Nassau. Niggas is doing bids in Nassau County. BX Mel said this is when they begin the worship M phase. Elvis treatment. That is an absolute fact. BX Mel says Mos Def wasn't commercial enough to win that year. I agree. I'm gonna keep this statement up because I do agree this is what happened. They was giving Eminem the Elvis treatment. I agree what you're saying though, BX Mel. You know, was Mos Def big enough to carry that award ceremony and to get that award? No. But you know, is the Grammys about musical excellency and critical acclaim, or is it about revenue? Is it about, you know, who's the biggest star? And that's the tricky part, because we've seen you give awards to artists that didn't necessarily deserve it. You know, we went through some of that. We've seen you, you know, snub people, you know, that probably should have won, that may have been bigger that year. We've seen it. But, you know, for some reason, you had some favoritism towards the white boy. A lot of favoritism. It was a lot of favoritism towards the white boy. Why was Eminem getting, you know, pampered with so many awards? It came to a point where it's out of hand. I think this is his 4th win at this point in time. He's won 4 best hip hop album awards at this particular time. I mean, hasn't he had enough? And have y'all ever saw that video? Let me see if I can pull it up. Do you know this white boy is mad at the Grammys? Let me pull that up for y'all. Give me 1 second. Because I don't know if y'all ever saw this. Eminem, Grammys. You know this nigga's mad at the Grammys? He feels like the Grammys have robbed him. This man got 6 best hip hop album awards. More than Kendrick. More than Jay-Z. Jay-Z has the most Grammys, you know, collectively, you know, from different categories. But Eminem has more best hip hop album Grammys than Jay-Z. He feels like the Grammys have robbed him. Let me play this clip.
But you feel like you had to sell your soul to get them. And you didn't know if you wanted it for the recognition or the trophies, but then what's the difference? You know, and that Grammys pretty much suck the blood of artists and nominate them, have them come to the shows. And
Which they do. They do it every fucking year, yeah. And I got...
Nigga, you got 6 Best Hip Hop Album awards. What more does the Grammys have to do? Do they gotta suck you off? What more do you want? Do they gotta suck your toes? Lick your gooch? They done sucked you off. They done sucked you dry. They done gave you awards that you didn't deserve. You still want more?
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
Listen to this white boy. He feel like the Grammys have robbed him. But he got more best hip hop albums than anybody. He got more than Kendrick, more than Jay-Z.
I'm just tired of seeing it. And for whatever reason, it's like they're always pitching this hint that you might win Album of the Year, which used to be a big deal. I don't think it's a big deal now.
Oh, his gripe is winning the Album of the Year. Eminem, none of your albums deserve Album of the Year. Let's just be real, Eminem. You were too raunchy. From the the inception of your career, you were too raunchy. You were never gonna be up there with Album of the Year. Your music doesn't bring people together like that. When we celebrate an Album of the Year, we should be celebrating an album that we can all agree upon, that's bringing people together. Your albums were about, dissing pop stars, rapping about farts, bodily fluids, rapping about, getting touched and stuff like that, like real zesty behavior. It was a lot of weird stuff that you put in your music. You wasn't making music that was friendly as far as an Album of the Year genre. Let's just be real, Eminem. Even when you went into your pop phase and you started making records with Rihanna and stuff like that, that still wasn't good enough. Let's just be real.
Sat at home this year for the Grammys and watched Jay and Kendrick not get it. And I felt like one of them should have got it. I felt like Joyner Lucas should have won a Grammy.
I'm guessing he's feeling. I think this is based off of Album of the Year. Now I do feel like the Grammys have snubbed a lot of hip hop acts in terms of Grammy of the Year, but it's only a handful of people I feel like should have won. I don't think Eminem is one of those people that should have won Best Album, not Best Hip Hop Album, but Best Album universally of the year. I only feel like Kanye, Kendrick, possibly Drake should have won that award. In the last 15 years, I don't think Jay-Z should have won it. I don't think Eminem should have won it. I only feel like Kanye, Kendrick, and Drake possibly could have won that award in the last 15 years. I don't think Eminem was ever in contention, in my opinion, in terms of quality of music, in contention to win that award.
For I'm Not Racist.
Yeah.
Absolutely should have won a fucking Grammy. Every year we went, it was, I would be up for Album of the Year, and then the winner is Norah Jones. Who? And I'm not even...
Kicking in the back of Norah Jones now. Hold on. BX Mel says, did I see the video of Ray J coming out? No, I did not see the video of Ray J coming out. You mean like he's coming out the closet? What you mean like coming out? What you mean? I don't think Ray J is gay. I don't believe that. He's toyed around with that, but I don't believe Ray J is gay. He can say it all he wants, but I don't believe that from Ray J. I think he's just trolling. You know that the blood from the eye, when he said that he was dealing with some type of ailment, he pretty much came out and said that it was fake. So Ray J does a lot of trolling. You can't take everything he's saying seriously. Sometimes he's just trolling to get some attention. But back to what we're talking about here.
Trying to say anything bad about her music. I just, at that point, I had never heard of her.
Yeah.
And none of my friends did either. You know what I'm saying? So we were like, okay, whatever. And then Steely Dan. Okay, I know Steely Dan.
You got a problem with Steely Dan winning, nigga? Eminem, you never made an album that was album of the year quality. I don't even think you deserve some of them hip hop award Grammys. I'm just speaking in it real. You didn't deserve some of those Grammys. You robbed a couple folk for them Grammys. Cause you had that complexion for the protection of the collection. Rest in peace to Paul Mooney. You had that complexion for the protection of the collection. That's why you won. You didn't win based off of talent. You didn't win based off of critical acclaim. You didn't win because you had the best album. You won because you had the complexion for the protection of the collection. But you mad at Steely Dan for winning the Grammy? They've been in the game for 40 years.
Yes. I know Steely Dan back in the day, you know what I'm saying? But more than the Marshall Mathers LP impact, like, okay, fine.
Yes, because they wasn't rapping about deleting their girlfriends, having sex with their birth givers, rapping about farts and bodily fluids. That's why they won and you didn't, Eminem.
I watched 50, same shit. 50 did not win Best New Artist.
Now 50 did get robbed. Now, but it did go up against Love Below. Love Below was a big album. Now we talked about that.
It's at the Grammys.
There was nothing bigger than 50.
Nothing bigger, and nobody since maybe like Snoop came out the gate like that. My first album didn't do it. I never saw.
Your first album didn't do it commercially, but they still gave you that Grammy. Did they or did they not? And you can make the argument. You could make the argument, respectfully, you could make the argument that Eminem was one of the first industry players. You could make the argument, right? And I know he had humble beginnings. I know Dre gave him a shot. But people think that an industry plant is someone that the industry builds up and stuff like that. That's not necessarily true. Sometimes the industry selects people. They select people. They say, okay, this particular artist is working with this particular artist. We're going to select him. We're going to select him. And I think that did happen with Eminem. They selected him. You can make an argument that he was hip hop's. He was like like Terminator. You had the first Terminator, which was Arnold. And then you had the liquid Terminator. It's like the T1000 or whatever it was. The liquid Terminator. Like you could say the first Terminator was Vanilla Ice. And Vanilla Ice, he came through, he sold his records, but it didn't stick. Eminem was like the liquid Terminator. He was the one that was going to do the damage. He was the more advanced, more respectable MC. More better lyrics, more better, more better content. So you can make the case that he was like the second industry plant. In terms, because the industry always wanted that white rapper to be in the game. Let's continue though.
Someone's first album and the wave happened like he had. And then he doesn't get it. And then I get up there another year, and what was it, the Eminem show? And it was like, whatever. I'm fine if I lose to fucking Kanye or someone that I'm like, okay, I respect that. I know who that is, and Kanye has a huge following and he's made a massive impact on music. Fine, I'm good with that. But don't fucking get us all here to use your selling point for your fucking show and stiff everybody every single fucking time. And I said, after that point in time, I was like, don't ever ask me to fucking come here again. Please do not ask me. My answer is no for 100 million years. Never again will I fucking go to the grave. Well,
nigga, you got 6 best hip hop album Grammys. What are you bitching about? If anything, they've overly awarded you. They've overly given you awards. If anything, like, what are you bitching about? Because you damn sure never deserved the album of the year, Eminem. I'm sorry, you never deserved it. Never. You never deserved album of the year. You robbed a couple good black folk of best hip hop album, best hip hop album. You robbed a good couple cats. You have the most best hip hop album awards. What are you bitching about? I'm confused. I'm confused. Couture said the audacity. I agree. We're talking. Let me show y'all. Hold on, let me show y'all. We're gonna get back to Relapse. Let's remember we're at Relapse. He is the most awarded rapper in terms of this category. Look, the first award was in 1996. The last person to win this award was Kendrick Lamar with GNX, 2026. Most wins. Eminem. Eminem has 6 best hip hop rap album awards. What is he bitching about? Fire! What is he yapping about? You want more? After you done robbed the people that you robbed? And granted, listen, I let the first one slide. I felt like your second album, you was well deserving of that album. But after that, after those first 2, you didn't deserve none of it. So you had at least 4 awards that you robbed someone for. I just wanted to play that because a lot of people don't remember that. A lot of people don't remember that interview where he was yapping about how he felt like he should have won more and, oh, they robbed me. I don't feel like he ever got robbed. I feel like he did the robbing. He was probably doing more robbing than if anything. But now, let me go back to where we was at. We was at Relapse, right? Let's go back to Relapse. We got to get through this list at some point. We was at Relapse, right? Okay, we at Relapse. Again, like I said, a weak year. They was never going to give it to any of these guys. None of these guys have the star power of an Eminem. So, listen, I don't necessarily think that they were wrong for giving it to him, but at the end of the day, I mean, how many awards are you going to give this man? In terms of ranking, where I'm gonna rank this, let me see. I'm gonna rank it down. Actually, I can't rank it that low because nobody got robbed. Nobody legitimately got robbed. I'm gonna put it here though, based off of quality of music and how much I respect the win. I'm gonna rank it there. Let's go to the next one. Oh my, another one? Are you telling me they gave Eminem another Grammy Award back to back for Recovery? Or is that what you're telling me? And this was the album where he got clean. I'm not afraid to take a stand. Everybody, raise your hand. Raise your hand, everybody. Eminem, you didn't deserve a Grammy for this album. I'm sorry. I know you were making this album for a bunch of recovering meth addicts in middle America.
You don't find that suspicious?
But we didn't give a damn. Let's look at the people you went up against. You went up against B.O.B., The Adventures of Bobby Ray. Drake, Thank Me Later. That was a huge album, and I love that album. I went back to the album recently. I think it's a classic. I think Thank Me Later is a classic. This is my opinion. Jay-Z, Blueprint 3. He had the big song with Empire State of Mind. This was a good year for Jay, right? It wasn't Blueprint 3 is not a classic, but it had some great songs and some great moments. Generally, I think you robbed Drake and I think you robbed Jay-Z. Recovery is not an album that we go back to. Like I said, you made this album for a bunch of recovering meth addicts. Hip hop collectively was not looking at you as the guy back then. Let's just be honest. BX Mel says he calls him a Darren, and he said he had on those. He said a Methadone tribute album. That's a fact. We wasn't looking at Eminem as the guy back then. Maybe white America was, but you know, hip hop as a collective genre, we wasn't looking at Eminem like that. We was not, right? So I think you robbed Drake and I think you robbed Jay-Z that year. So I gotta put this album, in my opinion, I'm putting this at the bottom tier. Cause I think you robbed Drake and I think you robbed Jay-Z that year. I think you robbed both of them brothers. Let's get to the next year. 2012, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Classic album. Another great body of work by Kanye West. Herald as his magnum opus. I love this album. Incredible body of work, incredible production, incredible lyrics. I just want to see what it went up against. It went up against Watch the Throne, Pink Friday, and Carter 4. I think this is an easy S tier album. When I look at the, maybe Watch the Throne, you could make a case for, but I think based off of the quality of work, I'm gonna give it to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I think it's a better album. I'm gonna put it S tier. Right? I'm gonna put it S tier. Now you got Kanye with not one, not two, not three, but 4 albums in S tier at this point. You got Kanye with 4 S tier albums. 4, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 S tier albums. He's on a roll. So yeah, I have no problem putting Kanye on S tier for that. I think the I mean you can only make a case for Watch the Throne. Lasers, I mean that's a weak Lupe Fiasco album. I don't think Nicki Minaj deserved the Grammy for Pink Friday. And I damn sure don't believe Lil Wayne deserved a Grammy for this dog poop album. This was a bad album for Lil Wayne. So let's go to the next one. 2013, Take Care. Drake's magnum opus. Listen, a lot of people are having discussions on this album. Is it a classic? Is it not a classic? This album is undeniably a classic. This is a classic body of work. What is a classic, right? Let's look that up. Because I don't like the disrespect. What is a classic? This is the Oxford definition. Judged over a period of time to be of the highest quality and outstanding of its kind. This album came out in 2011. This is a timeless body of work that we look back at and say this was Drake at his absolute best. Lyrical wise, songwriting wise. This is Drake's magnum opus. I think it's this, Nothing Was the Same, and If You're Reading This. This was Drake at his highest level. So I think this album is a classic body of work. Let me see what it went up against. Give me 1 second. It went up against Based on a True Story. Cool album, but not a classic. Well, actually, this is a classic album. No, this is not the classic. The album before this was classic. Now I don't know why that didn't. Yeah. Wait, was it this album? Oh, it was this album, or was it not? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. This was the album. Okay, yeah. This was a this is a classic True 2 Chainz album, but it's not more classic than Take Care. It's not. I'm sorry. Food and Liquor 2, Life is Good, God Forgives, I Don't, and The Roots Undone. Yeah, I think the right album won this year. I can't really make a case for no one. I think Take Care is better than the 2 Chainz album. Um, God Forgives, I Don't was cool, but it's not a classic. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Take Care definitely. Nobody got robbed. Nobody got robbed. Drake definitely won that one. I'm gonna put Drake S tier for that one. Based off of the quality of music and the win, I think it's fair to say that Drake deserved that award. I can't realistically say that anybody else deserved to win that. I don't think 2 Chainz. I mean, 2 Chainz had a great album. I think that album is a classic, but is it more classic than Take Care? No. Lupe Fiasco, Food and Liquor 2? No. Nas, Life is Good. I like that album, but is it a classic? No. God Forgives, I Don't. Cool album. Is it a classic? No. And The Roots, Undone. Yeah. I'm giving it to Take Care. Take Care, S tier. I'm putting Drake into S tier. Now, this is probably the nomination in the year Grammy we was all waiting for. Macklemore wins Best Hip Hop Album 2014. Before we get into the heist, let's just look at the nominations. Look at the nominations. You had Drake, Nothing Was the Same. Incredible album. Magna Carta, Holy Grail. Not an incredible album, but a decent album. It had some joints on there. You had Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City. Incredible album. And Yeezy, you had some heavy hitters. Heavy hitters. The Grammys, in their infinite wisdom, decided to give another white boy a Grammy.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
When we look back at the heist, none of us are saying this is a classic album. This is a classic body of work. These are hip hop songs that we will live with for the rest of our lives. The reality of it is that the Grammys got it wrong. The Grammys were out of touch. The Grammys to this day are on their hands and knees, bobbing on their knobbing to Kendrick Lamar because they gave the wrong person the award. They gave it to Macklemore and Ryan Lewis. This is probably one of the biggest upsets in hip hop history in terms of best hip hop album. This is probably more egregious than anything on this list. Because you got at least 2 to 3 classic albums in this nomination. Look at the albums in this list. You got Drake, Kendrick in their absolute primes. You got Kanye, who, listen, he was kind of wilding out during Yeezus, but it had some incredible songs. Bound 2, incredible song. New Slaves, incredible song. Blood on the Leaves, incredible song. He had some great songs on this album. So you have at least 2 to 3 classic albums, and the Grammys get it absolutely wrong. They give it to Ryan Lewis. I'm trying to get back to where I was at. Damn, where was that? Let me see if I can get back to where I was. So yeah, the Grammys disrespected hip hop that night. I think it's unequivocal that we're gonna get to some more disrespect. There was a lot of more disrespect that happened, but yeah, they disrespected hip hop with giving that award to the heist. It was undeserving. We don't look back at that hip hop. We don't look back at that album as a classic. Nobody's revisiting that album. Nobody's talking about that album in high regard. We got at least 3 albums in this nomination that people are talking about in high regard. People are talking about Nothing Was the Same in high regard. People are talking about Good Kid, Mad City in high regard. People are talking about Yeezus in high regard. Nobody's looking back 20, 10 years, 5 years later saying that The Heist was a classic body of work. So the Grammys played themselves. So I gotta put this at the bottom tier. The Grammys disrespected themselves. Bottom tier. Bottom tier. Unequivocally, bottom tier. Unequivocally bottom tier. Right? And I think that's fair. Right? BX says the Macklemore win shows that the Grammys will always take care of their own. That's a fact. You know, at that particular time, the Grammys had like I said, the complexion for the protection of the collection. They wasn't really respecting the black artists like that. You know, if you was a Kanye or a Jay-Z every now and then, you know, they might send you an award. If you had a hot year, like a Lil Wayne or something like that, they might give you an award. But in terms of respecting the art form, they were not respecting the art form at that particular point in time. They had no respect for the art form. In reality, they never did. But I'm not gonna lie, that might go down as the most egregious win. That might go down as the most egregious win. I'm not gonna lie. That was bad. But let's get to the next, because you know, 3 people got robbed, really. Kanye, Kendrick, and Drake got robbed. They all got robbed. Here we go again with another Eminem Grammy win, right? You got 2015, the Marshall Mathers LP. He wins for another time. Now, like again, when you look at Eminem's wins, it's relatively weak years in hip hop. Think about it. He went up against Iggy Azalea, the New Classic. Let's look at that. He went up against Iggy Azalea, the New Classic. He went up against Common's Nobody's Smiling. He went up against Childish Gambino's Because of the Internet. And I like that album. That album's all right. You got Wiz Khalifa, Black Hollywood. And you got Oxymoron by Schoolboy Q. So relatively, there was no star power at this point in time. So they just gave this white man the award based off of his star power. It wasn't based off of quality of music. If I had to pick an album that was probably the best, I would probably give it to Oxymoron or Childish Gambino. I would not give it to Eminem. But based off of star power, based off of ad revenue, based off of, you know, them selling a show, they gave it to Eminem. It wasn't based off of, you know, quality of music. So I gotta put this bottom tier. They disrespected themselves. This was another year they disrespected themselves. How many times is the Grammys gonna disrespect themselves? You gave Eminem an award, and you're just giving this man an award just for showing up. Just for being white and having star power. I mean, at a particular point in time, that's what the Grammys were doing. We're just going to give you the award because you have star power and you're white. You have star power and you're white. That's what it's based off of. BX Mel says M got lucky on some weak years. That's a fact. When you look back at some of these award wins, he just benefited off of weak years in hip hop. You know, people didn't release albums at that particular point in time. They didn't get nominated, so he dropped his little album. He had the bigger sales. He was the bigger star, so he just got the award. It wasn't real competition in there. He benefited a lot of times. I don't think he deserves 6 Grammys for this category. I think that's wildly egregious. You got 2016 Kendrick Lamar, The Pimp a Butterfly. I'm not mad at this. I'm not mad at this. I think The Pimp a Butterfly is a classic album. I love this album. This is my favorite Kendrick Lamar album. I'm not mad at this. We're gonna get into when Kendrick Lamar, when they started slobbing the knob of Kendrick Lamar. I have my gripes with him as well. They did start slobbing because I guess they felt so bad about robbing him and giving the award to Macklemore. We're gonna get into that, but I do think he deserved it. I do think he deserved it for this album. He went up against some heavy hitters too. 2014 Forest Hills Drive, Dr. Dre, Compton. I wouldn't nominate that, but Drake, If You're Reading This, I love that album. And The Pink Print. I only think J. Cole and Drake have, an argument, because that's one of J. Cole's best albums, and that's definitely one of Drake's best albums. So it's really between them three. But I don't feel like niggas got egregiously robbed, but I do feel like those albums did get a little bit overshadowed by this win. So I can't just give this album unequivocally the S tier. I do think it was deserving. So I'm kind of torn between S tier and A tier right now. I'm torn. Because I'm somewhere in the middle. Nothing. If You're Reading This was such a great album. You know what? I'm going to put it S tier. I'm going to put it S tier. I'm going to put To Pimp a Butterfly S tier. Based off of the critical acclaim, and they did rob Kendrick, so I'm gonna give him the S tier. Even though I feel like he did rob Drake a little bit. But let's continue. Let's see. So that's how 2016 went. 2017, The Coloring Book. I don't think Chance the Rapper deserved this award. Gotta be honest. Gotta keep it real. This award should have went between two people. It should have been between Drake and Kanye West. Views was a bigger album. Kanye West had a better album. So it's really between them two. For some reason, I don't know what it was, they decided to give Chance the Rapper this award. And they kind of robbed Drake and they kind of robbed Kanye West. Because they both put out pretty good albums, but they decided to give it to Chance the Rapper. Now, Coloring Book is not a bad album, but it's not better than Life of Pablo. And it definitely wasn't better. I don't think it was better than Views, and I don't think it was bigger than either one of those albums. So the Grammys kind of robbed two people during this one. The Coloring Book, it's not heralded as a hip hop classic. The Views is one of Drake's biggest albums. Life of Pablo was one of people's favorite it's one of people. It's ranked higher on people's ranking of Kanye's best albums. People like that album. So yeah, I don't feel like Chance deserved that. So I'm going to rank that bottom tier. I don't think he deserved it. I do not think he deserved that album, that Grammy. I think it should have went to Kanye or Drake. Again, they robbed Kanye, and again, they robbed Drake. Right? So that's how 2017 went. And then you get into 2018 with Damn, Kendrick Lamar. Now, I just want to see the albums that he went up against. He went up against 444, great album. Migos, Culture, that was a classic album of theirs. You got Rhapsody, Layla's Wisdom, and you got Tyler Creator, Foul Boy. And I like at least 3 of these albums. I like the J album, I like the Migos album, and the Flower Boy album. But I think at that particular point in time, all eyes was on Kendrick. Kendrick was the biggest. Kendrick was the most critically acclaimed. I think that was Kendrick's year. When Kendrick dropped that album, all eyes was on Kendrick. So I think that it's fair to say that Kendrick deserved it that year. So I'm going to give him an S tier. I think for To Pimp a Butterfly and Damn, he deserved both of those as S tier. I think that those are deserving wins. I think that those are deserving wins. I'm going to give him that. Those were deserving wins. He deserved to win those awards. He deserved it. Let's continue. Got a few more to get through. Cardi B, Invasion of Privacy. She robbed Travis Scott, Astroworld. Astroworld was a better album, better produced, better experience. People got caught up in the hype of Cardi B. A Latin sensation. Oh, she's, I just feel like where was people's integrity? Hyping this album up, giving this monkey a Grammy. They disrespected Travis Scott. I'm putting this S tier. I think that this was egregious that they gave this monkey Cardi B a Grammy. I'm still disgusted at this win for her. I don't think she deserved it. Yeah, I just think it's egregious. This is probably one of the most egregious. This is up there for me with the Macklemore thing. I think this is egregious. I don't think she deserved it. I'll put it at the bottom. Let's continue. You got Tyler the Creator with Igor. I like this album. Good album. When you look at the people he was going up against, you got 21 Savage, I Am, Meek Mill's Championships, and Corday. I think in terms of artistic integrity, in terms of creative world building, all of the great production that Tyler was doing on Igor, I think it's easily an S tier. I think he deserved to win that one. I'm going to put him S tier. Deserving of that award. It went to the right guy. Easily. 2020. Nas, King's Disease. Easily should have won. Now, remember, they snubbed Nas for the greater half of his career. When Nas was putting out Illmatic and It Was Written, they snubbed him. So they said, you know what, Nas is back on his grind. He's doing his thing. He got with Hit Boy, got with some great producers. Let's give Nas one. And I respect it. I respect that Nas got one. Do I think that Alfredo by Freddie Gibbs was a better album? Yes, I do. But I do think that Nas deserved to win one. He's been doing it for over 30 plus years. Give the man one. His legacy warrants that over Freddie Gibbs, who who don't got the bones in the game like that. So I'm going to rank Nas's win A tier. I'm gonna give it A tier. Call me if you get lost. Let me just look and see what it went through. I'm gonna be honest with you. I love this album. I love this Tyler album. It's a great album. But Donda is an incredible body of work, man. Donda was a great album. They snubbed Kanye this year. Call me if you get lost is a great body of work. It's a great experience. But Donda is an incredible body of work itself. And there were some incredible Kanye songs. So I do feel like he kind of robbed Kanye. He kind of robbed Kanye. I don't think it was egregious. I think it was egregious, but he kind of robbed Kanye. I mean, Donda was a great body of work. Hold on. Who else was in there? The off season. Yeah, I'm gonna put this mid tier, and I rock with Tyler, but I'm gonna put this mid tier because Donda was such an incredible body of work. You kind of, I mean, I could have kind of seen it when it could have went either way. So I'm gonna put it mid tier, and I love that album, but I gotta put it mid tier. What's next? Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Oh my goodness. Listen, when you think of star power, I see why they chose this album. He was going up against DJ Khaled, Future, and Jack Harlow and Pusha T. Now, if you're thinking about star power, I mean, relatively, we're gonna go with Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar has more star power than any on all of these guys put together, outside of Future, right? But Mr. Morale is not a good album. It's Kendrick Lamar's worst album. It's easily his worst body of work. I don't think that album deserved a Grammy like that. I mean, I just feel like almost like Eminem in his years, he benefited off of a weak year in hip hop. And we've been talking about Eminem, how he benefited off of weak years in hip hop. It wasn't necessarily that he had the best quality album. It was more so based off of he had a bigger year. He was the bigger artist. He dropped an album during a weak year, during that nomination period, and these were the albums selected, and the Grammys went with him. So I don't think he necessarily deserved this one based off of this album, because I don't think this album is that great. So in my opinion, I'm going to rank this album win mid-tier. Actually, I'm gonna go lower than mid-tier. I'm gonna go right here. I think it's right there. I don't think it belongs in the lower tier, but I think I'm gonna put it here. I think I don't think it's deserving of all this acclaim. I don't think the album is that good. And did he rob anybody? No, but still, it's like that album is trash. Album is garbage. It's his worst album, but they just gave it to him because they felt like, he had the biggest star power. Let's give him an award. Let's continue. Killer Michael. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I only heard about one song off of this album, and that was Scientists and Engineers with Andre 3000. I never really bumped this whole album front to back. But in terms of, what does the Grammys do in terms of commercial appeal? Does it matter that your album was more impactful than some others' album that was probably more underground? I mean, how do they quantify that? Do you look at albums, like if an album comes out, right, hypothetically, and the album is everywhere, everybody's playing it, everybody's loving it, everybody's enjoying it, do you not look at that? Or do you just say, well, this underground guy, he put out an album and he got this great song with Andre 3000, and there's a couple great tunes on this album. How do they quantify? Do they look at impact? Because when you look at the list of MCs on here, you got Drake and 21 Savage, Her Loss. That's a great album. You got Metro Boomin, Heroes and Villains. That's a good album. You got King Disease 2. That's a great album. You got Utopia. You got some heavy hitters in here, but they decided to go with Killer Mike. I don't think that Killer Mike deserved that. It could have easily went to Drake. It could have easily went to Nas. It could have easily went to Travis Scott. They kind of robbed Travis Scott twice, if you're keeping it real. And it could have easily went to Metro Boomin. So personally, I don't respect this win. I don't think it's valid. I don't think that Michael album by Killer Mike had the impact like anybody says. I like literally outside of that Andre 3000 song, I have never heard anyone herald it. I have never heard anyone go back to that album. Have never heard anyone talk highly of that album. It's not an album that people have been talking about for years and years and years, and that people are continually playing over and over. How do we quantify what is deserving of a best hip hop album? What are we looking at? Are we just looking at, because he has a Andre 3000 feature, and underground wise, people are bumping this album? Are we looking at critical acclaim? Are we looking at cultural impact? Is your album everywhere? Like, what are we looking at? So I don't really respect this win. I'm not going to put it at the bottom tier, but I don't really respect this win. I don't respect this win, right? I don't respect that win. Let's get into the next one. Doechii, Alligator Bites. I can't tell you one song off of this album. Literally one. I can't tell you one song off of this album. I believe that this girl is an industry plant. I believe that they gave this girl this award because she's an industry plant and they want to set her up. Right? I think that this award should have went to Future and Metro Boomin. I think that they were robbed. I think that Future and Metro Boomin, they should have gotten that award, and that's my opinion. I'm going to put this at the bottom tier. And for the last one, wrapping this up, Kendrick Lamar in 2026 wins GNX, and he went up against Let God Sort Him Out, Glorilla. It's really a 3-horse race between GNX, Clips, and Tyler the Creator. I like GNX. I think it's a great body of work. Chromacopia, I think Tyler put out a great body of work as well. I think he went very personal. He went very in depth. He talked about things that he had never talked about before, and I think he was inspired by Mr. Morale to make that album. But there were things that he talked about on that album that I never really heard him really speak upon, like that song about his father and the song about abortion. There were things that he was really going in depth with, and I think he went more deeper than Kendrick went on GNX. I think GNX is very surface level compared to Chromacopia. And Let God Sort Him Out is a classic hip hop album, in my opinion. In my opinion, I do think the Clips and Tyler got snubbed. I think in terms of writing and production, Tyler had a better album. In terms of a perfect hip hop album, Clips clearly had a better album. So I'm going to pit GNX, and I like GNX, so I'm not going to put it low, like crazy low, but I'm going to put it mid-tier. For me, mid-tier. You robbed Clips. Clearly you robbed Clips. And I think that Tyler had a better album in terms of what he was trying to convey, the messages, writing-wise, and production. I think production-wise, he really, was really putting his foot in that album as best as he could. And again, I like GNX. GNX is a good album. I love GNX. But I do feel like Tyler had a better album. And I feel like he had more to say in his writing. He had more to convey. GNX was very surface level. Chromacopia was not. Let God Sort Him Out was damn near a classic album front to back. So I think you robbed two people with GNX. But that is my ranking of every hip hop album that has been awarded by the Grammys. Every best hip hop album that has been awarded best hip hop album from 1996, from 2026, we have ranked every single album on this list right here. So I want to thank everybody for joining me. This has been a long stream. I had to get through this. I had to talk about a few things. Had to get through a few things. Had to talk about a few albums. Had to talk about a few moments in history. Had to convey my point. I want to thank everybody for showing up. Anybody who showed up, anybody who popped out here, you know, I salute you. You know, but this is my ranking. This is my ranking. I respect this ranking. I think that it's fair. I think it's honest. And this is where I rank the wins. You know, and I want to say that I base this off of a quality of music, the albums it went against in this category that year, and also I based it off of, did they deserve to win or not? You know, was it a respectable Grammy win that year? Was it respectable? Now, if you look at this list, you can see that Kanye kind of takes up most of the space. You got Kendrick with 2, you have Kanye with 4, you got Eminem with 1, you got Tyler with 1, and you got Drake with 1 as well. So, you know, Kanye really had more respectable wins, you know, in terms of the matchups, in terms of the quality of music. I think Kanye is really the hero of this category when it comes to best hip hop albums in terms of the Grammy category and nominations. It's not Eminem. Eminem has 6 hip hop album awards. That is egregious.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
That is absolutely, unequivocally suspicious, weird, and I don't know how to quantify it. I don't know how that happens. BX Mel says Kendrick had a lot of hype and momentum to help push DNX across the finish line. That's a fact. It's a fact. He says, I thought Clips should have won personally. Me too. I think that the Clips album, front to back, was a classic hip hop album. It's almost like an Illmatic. It's almost like that quintessential front to back hip hop album. No bad songs, no skips. Great moments, great rapping, great production. Yeah, I think Clips should have won. You know, and I think that the Chromacopia album had better writing. I think that the topics that Tyler was talking about, in my opinion, were more heavier, were more in depth, and he went to another realm that I had never seen before. He was talking about things that I never really thought about. He never really got into his father. He never really talked about, you know, some of those topics that he was going into, and I respected it. So I think that 2 people got robbed that year, and Tyler and the Clips. But with that being said, listen, guys, it's been real. Salute to BX Mel, salute to FBA, salute to Couture. Thank y'all guys for joining me. I just want to do a little hip hop, you know, show tonight. Talk about some music, talk about some different things, and you know, we'll have more shows like this where we'll talk about different hip hop topics, hip hop nerd topics. But this is how I ranked on a tier list the best hip hop albums, based off of the Grammy wins that they had that year. All of these albums won best album of the year for the Grammys, and I just wanted to rank them in terms of their quality of music, in terms of who they won against, and if they deserve to win. It's very important. You see Kanye dominated. But with that being said, listen, y'all have a good night. Y'all have a respectable Friday, a beautiful weekend, and I'll see you guys